week, I caught myself doing something that felt so small, but it really stopped me in the moment. I was sitting on the floor in the living room, and I was wrapping gifts. So the house was fairly quiet. Actually, it was really quiet because other than the TV and our fireplace, because the kids were at their grandparents' house and they were going to be back the next morning. So though I was alone and it was evening and there was really nothing going on, I felt this urge. I felt this sense of, get this done. We needed to get off your list. And instead of enjoying the calm, enjoying the wrapping the gifts and seeing what I bought, because, if you're like me or like typical mom, you buy things and then you have to pull them all together to say, okay, let's organize these things. Who got what? Who did I overbuy for? And all of that. But instead of enjoying it, my brain was running a checklist. Did I reply to that email? Did I follow up on that decision? What still needs to be handled before everything slows down next week? Is the presentation ready? Did you find the stockings? Which, newsflash, I ran out of time and didn't do that. But in that moment, I realized something. Even when the house is quiet, leadership doesn't turn off. When you're a leader, when you're a mom, when you're a parent in general, and definitely not during the holidays, because while everyone else is resting, celebrating, unplugging, leaders are still holding things together emotionally, mentally, and relationally. Even when we even try to take a few things, a few extra things so our people can take some much deserved time off with their families too. And no one really sees this part. So that's what I wanted to talk about today, the quiet weight that leaders carry. Hi, I'm Tami Imlay, Executive Leadership Strategist and Advisor, and I guide senior leaders and executive teams through leadership clarity so that they can make some confident decisions, align their team, and perform at a high level under pressure. And as we are in the holiday seasons, and whether you celebrate Christmas as kids get older, I feel like Christmas actually lasts like 2 weeks. We have, so many different parties and different events. And then of course the week between Christmas and New Year's, and so it's really, it's almost a whole month of celebrating. And so it's a whole month of things. And while you're trying to make magic for your family and really be in the moment and enjoy the season, that's when leadership doesn't end. That's when our work, we may slow down in the season, but it doesn't stop completely. And so as I'm in the middle of this resilient leader series, I wanted to talk a minute about this quiet weight that leaders carry. That often it's not seen, and we don't want it to be seen. We don't try to show it. And this week, though we have family obligations and things, it feels different for leaders. While things slow down for a lot of people, leaders are often still holding things together. They're still doing their family thing, and they're trying to cover at work and make sure things are buttoned up for the year and finished so that way they can take those couple of days off. And there's a busyness, and it's such a contrast between a busyness, a calm, a stillness, but there's still internal responsibility. And so as leaders, you're constantly balancing that. And resilience isn't always about pushing through. Sometimes it's about quietly holding things steady, just keeping things afloat while you take some time off. And so it doesn't necessarily mean we always have to keep moving forward, but sometimes it's just like, okay, how can we successfully keep things right here? And so today, because again, that long to-do list, I always cram in more things than I need to during the holidays. And so today I'm actually recording in a closet at my dad's house, because we traveled to visit my family for Christmas this year, and things don't shut down. I realized as I'm driving, I was like, I had it on my to-do list, but I was like, oh, I can get that done later. Let me do this now. And I had several big things that needed to be done. And I was like, okay, well, recording a podcast, I already had it planned. I already have them, I can do them on the fly. I can do them anywhere. And I have the tools. And now, you can do it on your phone. I got this Riverside app that, man, like I can record this whole thing on my phone without having to pull different apps together, it's so cool. But here I am the everyone's doing different things for the holidays. We got things cooking and gifts being wrapped and football on. And here I am in the closet recording a podcast simply because I needed to get it done. Because as a mom, as a leader, as a sister and a daughter, it's like we want to make sure everything goes really well for our people. And so I just wanted to acknowledge this contrast. I want to acknowledge this dynamic because it's it's okay to do both. It's okay to set things down. It's okay to just make things happen. Not everything has to be 100% all the time. I typically record these podcasts with video so I can put them on YouTube as well. They may be a little slow getting up on YouTube, but they get there. But it's okay that we just do things to get them done. That it doesn't mean it's less valuable. This episode that I created, I think I'm hoping that it's the permission that you needed to be able to set things down and acknowledge the weight that you carry as a leader and realize that sometimes we don't need to carry that weight all the time, or we can set it down briefly to just be human, to just be with our families. And so this weight that we carry, it's a responsibility that most people don't see. It's a responsibility that our team, like if we do it right, it does look effortless, even though we don't want to put on this facade that everything is so easy and we can do things perfectly without fail. But we don't need our people to see the effort behind things a lot of times. So we carry this responsibility others don't see. Whether it's right or wrong, we do this. But the crazy part is a lot of times we don't even acknowledge it for ourselves. We don't see what we're doing. We have decision fatigue. There's so many people who their emotional steadiness relies on us getting our things done and being emotionally steady. We're the calm ones when others unravel, and we hold space for people while managing our own energy. This weight that we carry, we do it because we care. We do it because it matters. We do it because that's what the job calls for. And we don't even acknowledge what we're doing. So this emotional weight that we carry, what does it look like for you? What is often that you're carrying that's extra? And how are you trying to look like you have it all together? Or how are you trying to portray this like I got this under control? Or how many times have we know that we need help and someone asks us, hey, is there something I can help you with? But we'll know it's easier if we just do it ourselves. There's so many times, and I have to watch that in myself. Or two is we don't want to burden them with this. We don't want them to stay extra. We want them to go and enjoy whatever break, the weekend, you may not be listening to this during the holidays and it doesn't matter because we, as leaders, we carry this burden all year round. And so I want to offer you something. I want to validate the fact that you're holding this together and that it's okay to carry that. And we don't even need permission. We don't need to disengage. We don't need to drop everything. But we do need to see, where can we just put pause? Where can we briefly, maybe not set it on the floor, set it down completely, but where can we put it in a holding pattern until we can come back to it? And I want to give you some encouragement here, because we always don't need to put so much pressure on ourselves. There may be deadlines, and I listened to a book recently that talked about where the term deadline came from. And I'm going to go listen to the story again because I'm going to tell it wrong, but it was fascinating to me where that term came from and realize what it meant. It really meant like there was really a final, like, alive one moment, dead the next. Like that's the strength of it. I noticed that when I'm recording with my AirPods on, and because I can't hear myself, or I hear myself in my own head, it it kind of throws me off a little bit. So if I seem like I've lost my words, it's just because it's like repeats, it's like so in my head, but that's all right. Because again, we just do what we got to do. But I also want you to know, so I want to give you this encouragement that we don't have to live in pressure all the time. Even if there's a deadline, even if there's something coming, a lot of times it's like, what what really needs to be done right now? Is it just someone needs an answer? Does someone need an outline? Does someone need a decision completely? Or do we need the decision or do we need the final product? And so I want you to look at this season, whatever season you're in, and say, where can I give myself permission to release, to acknowledge that this responsibility that I carry, and realize that it doesn't have to be as strong as we make it seem. And if you're tired, if it and like examples of this is like if you're tired, it doesn't always mean you're failing. Some of the things we do is just hard work. If you're still standing, it matters. If you're still moving forward, that's really what matters. And steady leadership counts even when it's quiet. It doesn't have to be pressure filled. It doesn't have to be out loud, and it doesn't have to be so visible that others see what's going on. And so I just wanted to tell you that. And as I close today, because I really wanted this podcast to be more of just a reminder that you're allowed to take a break. A resilient leader doesn't keep pushing through no matter what. A resilient leader allows that balance and knows when to set things down and when to push pause. And when you need extra help or you need time away, it doesn't mean that you're failing or that you aren't a good leader. It means you're human. And it's really good practice to set things down, to take a break. Not only does it give our brains time to catch up to our actions, and sometimes we realize that some of the things we were doing were not even needed in the first place, but then we get to model that what it means to be steady. And a resilient leader really is a steady leader. It doesn't get rattled, and you're able to take the waves and enjoy the calm when it comes, even holding that responsibility. Even if you don't want to set it down completely, maybe you can set it down for a moment. And so I want to invite you. I just want to invite you to look at what responsibility you're holding right now and what can you set down until the new year? What can you just put a pin in and come back to so you can be present with your family, with your friends, with your people? Even if you're still working throughout the holidays, and I know not many people are, and as a leader, you still can show them that, yes, we're working and we can still bring some calm, peace, and rejuvenate our energy in this time. So I just want to invite you if you're looking toward 2026, and you want to know what it means to be the resilient leader, to be a Tuesday leader, as I called a few episodes ago. Or if you want to start 2026 with more clarity and less weight, and maybe it's simply just the heaviness of the responsibility of the weight. I'd love to talk. When you're ready, book a leadership strategy call at TamiMurrayCoaching.com/call. And let's chat about what 2026 could look like for you. Let's talk about how your team can start building that resiliency in the day-to-day actions. And what does it look like to make aligned decisions, strategic decisions, instead of just pressure decisions. So if you're ready to know how to lead with ease, with energy, with a calm energy and purpose and focus, get on a call with me and let's chat. All right. Well, I hope you guys have a wonderful holiday season. If you are listening to this, in real time, if this is 2026 for you, like it's still that same thing is we have a whole year for 2026. Do you want to make it the best year yet? Get on a call and let's see how that's possible. All right. I hope you all have a wonderful day. We'll see you later. Choose joy until joy chooses you. Bye for now. Before you go, as I was listening back and I was editing the podcast, I realized that I wanted to name the leadership truth underneath everything I shared. I kind of danced around it, but I didn't nail it down as clear as I would have liked. So I just wanted to come back and say that the quiet weight that leaders carry isn't a flaw. it's responsibility. And the leadership and the resilient leadership isn't about carrying the weight perfectly or silently. It's about carrying it intentionally. It means that we set it down when we need to set it down. We push pause when we need to push pause, and we move forward when we need to move forward. The resilient leader isn't about carrying the weight perfectly or silently. I'm just going to say that again because it's not a sign, it's not a badge of honor to do things to the point where no one else can help us, or to do it quietly and build that resentment of, why is it only us doing this? If you're tired, it doesn't mean you're failing. It means you're human. And leaders who learn to study themselves, when to pause and when to put things on in a holding pattern, they don't lose momentum. They lead with clarity instead of pressure. And that's what resilient leadership actually looks like. And I wanted to share that, wanted to make sure that you listened to that and gave yourself permission during the holiday seasons, during weekends, during your time off and these vacations, whatever the time is, for you to take a pause, for you to step back and you to put things on autopilot for a short time while you rejuvenate, while you spend time with the people who matter the most. That's true leadership as well. And so I just wanted to make sure that you knew that. I hope you have a wonderful day. Again, choose joy until joy chooses you. And I will see you really soon. Bye for now.